Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Bible Guidebook. I am so happy you're here with us because today we've got one of the most incredible stories from the book of Exodus. Well, get ready because this story has it all. It's a story about listening to God, about amazing promises, and about a huge, spectacular rescue. So let's get right into it.
You see, a long time ago, God's people, the Israelites, were in a really tough spot. They were forced to work all day long building huge cities for the Egyptians. Oh, it was such hard work, and they prayed and prayed for God to help them.
And guess what? God heard their prayers. He chose a very brave man named Moses to be their hero. God gave Moses a super important job, to go right to the king of Egypt, the Pharaoh, and give him a message straight from God.
So Moses went to Pharaoh and said exactly what God told him to. But the king, well, he had a very hard heart. He just crossed his arms and said no, he would not let God's people go. So God knew it was time to show his mighty power.
The very first thing God did was something that nobody, and I mean nobody, had ever seen before. It all happened at the giant river that ran through the land of Egypt.
Moses did just what God told him. He took his staff and touched the water of the river and poof, just like that, the entire river turned into blood. All the fish went belly up and the whole river started to smell really yucky. Nobody in Egypt could drink the water.
But can you even believe this? After seeing that amazing miracle, Pharaoh was still stubborn. He just looked at Moses, shook his head, and said no.
So God sent the second plague. And this one was, well, it was hopping mad. Frogs. And we're not talking about just a few frogs in a pond. We're talking about frogs absolutely everywhere.
Just imagine waking up with a frog on your head. Frogs were hopping into their houses, jumping on their dinner tables, splashing in their soup. They were even hiding in their shoes. It was a slimy, green, jumpy mess.
Pharaoh couldn't stand it. He begged Moses to make the frogs leave and promised he'd let the people go. But you know what? As soon as the very last frog hopped away, he changed his mind. His heart was still hard, and he said no all over again.
So the plagues kept coming. First, there were clouds of tiny, pesky gnats that came right out of the dust. And after that came huge, buzzing swarms of flies. But something different happened with the flies, something really important.
See, this time was special. While those buzzing flies filled every single Egyptian home, not one fly went into the homes of God's people, the Israelites. It was a giant sign that God was protecting them and keeping them safe.
And the very same thing happened with the next plague. All of the Egyptians' animals, their cows, their sheep, their horses, they all got very sick. But every single animal that belonged to the Israelites stayed perfectly healthy and strong.
But Pharaoh's heart just wouldn't soften. So the plagues got even bigger and scarier. First, painful sores popped up on all the Egyptians. Then, a huge, crazy hailstorm with fire mixed inside the ice crashed down from the sky. And after that, giant swarms of locusts flew in and ate every single green leaf in the whole land.
And after all that, God sent a darkness across all of Egypt. Now, this wasn't like a cloudy day or nighttime. No, this was a thick, heavy darkness that you could almost feel, and it lasted for 3 whole days.
The darkness was so dark that the Egyptians couldn't even see their hands in front of their faces. They just had to sit still. But while all of Egypt was in that deep, dark blackness, God's people had bright, shining light inside their homes. It was another amazing sign of his care.
So after 9 incredible signs, 9 powerful plagues, what do you think Pharaoh did? He looked right at Moses, and his heart was still as hard as a rock. He said no.
So, God told Moses that there would be one last plague. This one will be the most serious, the saddest one of all. But this one, God said, would finally make Pharaoh listen. But God had a special plan to keep his own people safe. He gave them very clear instructions. First, he told every family to stay inside their homes all night long. And second, he told them to put a special mark on their doors to show that they belong to him.
And here's the beautiful promise God made. He said that when the trouble came to the land of Egypt, it would see that special sign on their doors, and it would pass over their homes, keeping everyone inside perfectly safe.
That night, the final, heartbreaking plague came upon Egypt, and Pharaoh's hard heart was finally broken.
he sent for Moses in the middle of the night, and he shouted, "Go, just go, take your people and leave my country right now."
And that's exactly what they did. The Israelites gathered their things as fast as they could. After hundreds of years, they were finally free. All the men, women, and children, and all their animals walked right out of Egypt together as one big, happy family.
Wow, what a powerful story. So what does it teach us? Well, it shows us that God always cares for us and hears us when we call to Him. It shows us that God is strong enough to protect His people, that He always keeps His promises, and that He wants every one of us to live in freedom and with lots of hope.
Thank you so much for joining our Bible Guidebook for this amazing story today. If you had fun, we'd love for you to give this a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our other adventures. We can't wait to share the next story with you.